Hi there, and thank you so much for taking your time to actually watch this video. You've probably found this video because you're searching about what a TIA is, or a transient ischemic attack, basically a mini stroke. It might be that you've had one, or it might be that you've obviously want to know what the signs are. I want to say from the outset, first of all, that I'm not a doctor. But the reason why I know a little bit about this is because 2 days ago, I actually had one. My story started about 2.5 years ago. I basically, I fell unwell indoors. I just come over a bit faint. I didn't feel that great. And I actually panicked, and I called an ambulance, which I don't like doing, but I did. And the guy come round and he said to me, you've got to go to the hospital. We need to check you out. So basically I went to the Colchester Hospital. This was about 2.5 years ago, and I had basically, long and short of it was, they said to me that it wasn't any kind of stroke. It was actually I had high blood pressure, and I just come over a bit faint, for whatever reason. But that was the kind of like the out of the gate, if you like, the start of it. I had to attend hospital a week later, and I had a thing put on my neck, a Doppler, where they check circulation to your brain and everything. And basically I was put on Ramipril. Which is basically for high blood pressure, and I've been taking that responsibly ever since. Now, what really kind of, if you like, really frightened the life out of me was my story about 3 days ago. I basically was driving in my van, and all of a sudden I just didn't feel right. This is, I want to go just retrace though. For the previous 2 days to that, I've been having little bits of headaches. Not headaches enough for me to even warrant taking a painkiller, but I just had a bit of an headache. Anyway, that was the kind of like prior to me having this TIA. But what happened was, I come along in my van, I was driving in my van, everything was right, I was going to do a little job. Next thing I know, my left arm has gone completely dead, numb. My face apparently dropped. My left hand side of my face dropped, and my leg. Basically, I went to get out the van because I knew I had to get an ambulance. I waved the car down, and I couldn't walk properly on my left leg. I was falling up against the side of my van, trying to talk, basically trying to get help, and it was really, really, really frightening. Basically, long and the short of it was, I got taken to Colchester Hospital, and I'd just like to add, if in case there's anyone watching from Colchester Hospital, that the care and attention that I got from them nurses and that hospital in general was fantastic, absolutely fantastic. But basically, this video is giving you an idea of what happened when I first went in there. When I first got into the actual waiting area, I was saying to the woman, shouldn't I take an aspirin? Because I knew that aspirin thins your blood. And she kept saying, no, you've got to wait. And I was thinking, like, I want to take an aspirin because it's going to thin my blood. It's going to help me. But apparently the reason they don't give you an aspirin is because if you take an aspirin and they haven't told you to take it, you might have a bleed on your brain. And that's obviously going to be made worse because obviously aspirin thins your blood. So I probably waited about 4 hours, and they finally gave me a CT scan, like a head scan, and it come back that basically I didn't have a bleed on the brain. My blood pressure was high. Everything, obviously I weren't well, but I never had a bleed. So as soon as they knew that, they gave me a big, I think it was 300 milligram of aspirin, which I took immediately, and then I had to hang about for a while. Obviously the hospital's really busy. They haven't got loads of beds. And then they basically, I was given some medication, and then they actually put me in the stroke unit at Colchester Hospital. Now, I had like, I think there was 4 of us in the ward, different ages. I was the youngest person in there, ironically. And basically the lady come round and she said, like, you know, you basically had what's called a transient ischemic attack. You have basically had a mini stroke, which I knew something bad. I knew something bad had happened, you know what I mean? I knew right away. But it's scary, you know what I mean? And the reason I've done this video really is just to make people aware of how, you know, I was going along in my normal day, you know what I mean? It's just mad. But the other thing which I want to make aware is that I've never been a smoker. I've never really been a big drinker. Even now, I don't drink. I think the last time I had a drink was about 3 weeks ago. I don't drink indoors. So, and I'm slightly overweight. I weigh 96 kilograms. I know that because me and my son, we recently, well, about a couple of months ago, joined the gym. And I've been consciously, prior to this happening, thinking more about my health in general anyway. One of the other things, which is a factor, which if you've seen any of my other videos, you'll know what I'm saying, is that I suffer with OCD and anxiety. And I've always struggled with stress. I've always struggled to handle stressful situations. But my anxiety now is almost continuous, and it's partly because of my OCD. Obviously blood pressure, you know, you kind of, the adrenaline in your body makes you feel stressed out, and you know, you've got to, basically the idea of this video is just to try and make you think more about, you know, your lifestyle, which I was doing this anyway. I was thinking more about, you know, what to do, you know, how to be, how to be more healthy. Because the one thing that came across my mind, ironically, when I knew, like, you know, 10 seconds into it, I knew something was happening. You know, this wasn't right, I wasn't feeling right. But I say 15, once I actually knew that something major was happening, more than what happened before, the first thing that went through my head was my kids. And I remember thinking, am I going to die? I actually thought, am I going to die? It was that scary. When I got out of my van, I was falling about like I was disabled, where my left leg had completely gone. And what happens is, in a TIA, is that you get a blockage. You get a minor blockage. It's temporary in one of the blood vessels in your brain. So with me, it was on this side, my right side. If you get a blockage in your right side, apparently it's your left side that goes. And obviously, if you get a blockage in the other side, it's your right side that goes. But I think what happened was, with me, it was the reason for this video really is just to make you aware, if you like, of a realisation, if you like, of how fragile you are. Do you know what I mean? You know, I was chatting to the stroke, one of the top stroke nurses in there, and I said to her, why has this happened to me? I said to her, I've been cutting down, I've been trying to lose weight, I've been walking, I've been going to the gym. I said, me and my boy, we do, like, you know, I go on the treadmill, on the bike. And she said to me, I have people, she said, who are like athletes who come in here, 25 years old, who have had strokes. Yeah? I think you've got to, you know, the idea of this video, like I say, is to just make you think. You know, the first thing when I realised that it was serious, was I thought about my kids, my daughter and my son. They were the first things that went through my head. How are they going to cope? You know, money. You know, my daughter struggles, my son struggles a bit at times. You know, everyone struggles. And like, you think, and it did. And then I almost felt like, what is going on? It's too late. I actually thought it was too late. This is too late now. Whatever is. You know, whatever is. You know what I mean? And I actually thought, you know, I can't explain it, how I felt, the feeling that went through, the anxiety that went through my mind at the time. So even now, you probably notice I struggle sometimes. I get like, I go, I kind of can't calm down sometimes. And I've been looking into, since I've been home. I mean, I've been a bit, I'm not, what's the name, one of these people that search for everything, but I've just been searching ways to try and make your health, try and make yourself feel healthier. You know, what you things you can do. And I'm just gonna, um, anyway, I basically got left from, I was in there for one night, and I come out a day before yesterday. They've given me something that lines my stomach. They've given me, I can't remember the name of it. They've given me that I take in the morning. I take another tablet. I can't think the name of it, but that's an it basically it reduces your cholesterol. And they've told me you've got to take an aspirin every day. Or I have to take all them tablets for 28 days, and then I've got to go back to my GP. And at night I take I think it's called astatin. It's a statin, which I think again thins your blood. But the purpose of this video really is just to make you think, you know, don't wait for this to happen to you. Do you know what I mean? Think about what can you know, I've been watching, like I say, I've watched videos before this happened to me, and now I've watched a lot more. They talk about, you know, I was watching one this morning. You don't want to be eating, it's all to do with insulin. Insulin, you get too much insulin in your body, inflammatory, your blood vessels and everything. And I was watching a video this morning, you know, don't eat if you eat at 8 o'clock in the morning, you don't want to be eating after 4 o'clock at night. You need to give your body time to rest. Weight, obviously, massive factor. But I'm only 96 kilos. But I think my right weight is about 80, which is ironic because the other day me and my son were doing pull-ups in the gym, and I had you can go on a pull-up where you get assisted, or like you put like a weight on it that assists your, so you haven't got to pull up your whole weight. And my son said to me, he went, Dad, he said, you need, my assist was 18 kilograms. Well, that's ironically how overweight I am. You know what I mean? So, yeah, these people that know about these diets and what you got to eat and what you ain't got to eat, it's for a reason. Do you know what I mean? I'm on a completely now. I mean, I'm 96 kilos, and I said to my son, I'll be 86 kilos in a month's time. He reckons I won't be able to do that, but I'm just, you know, it has scared me that much. But I think I want you to understand is I'm not a drinker and I'm not a smoker. Do you know what I mean? That's what I said to the woman. I almost said to her, I said, I don't drink, I don't smoke. So I occasionally have a beer. I said, I'm not, you know, I'm not massively overweight. I'm probably, like, according to the NHS guidelines, I'm 2 stone overweight. But I can't imagine what I'd look like if I lost 2 stone. I'd look like somebody from Africa. Do you know what I mean? I'd look really like, I think I'd look ill. But it's something to, it's just worrying. You know what I mean? I worry anyway. You know, some of this was probably brought on by worry, stress, anxiety. You know what I mean? Worrying about your kids, worrying about it. You've got to try and make things, you've got to do everything you can for your family, but you need to put yourself first. I think you need to put yourself first. And that's what I'm going to start, you know. Oh, the other negative thing, I've had my driving licence took off me for a month. So I said to the woman, how am I supposed to go to work? My job, I do sales and marketing, I can get there other ways. So now my wife's going to take me. My wife's going to drive me to work. Because I am actually, theoretically, well, I am, not theoretically, I am disqualified from driving. So if I get caught driving there, I'll get nicked. It's like not having a licence. And I said to the woman, I said, well, how does that work? I said, I work. She said, oh, in a month's time, you have to go and have an assessment, and then if you're okay, then they I don't know, it's obviously on computer, they reissue your licence and everything. So even that, you know, this video, even think about that. What would you do? You know, I mean, I'm in a fortunate position where I earn money in different ways. But if you was reliant on driving, what are you to do? You know what I mean? Anyway, I'm going to wrap the video up there. But like I say, I haven't done this video to I hope you ain't. I hope it's made you more aware. That was the idea of it. Because and perhaps after you've watched this, search some different ways that you can actually reduce your cholesterol, reduce your insulin. Look at the benefits of eating in like an 8-hour window as opposed to eating all throughout the day. Look at the different things that you can do to help bring your blood pressure down. Because my blood pressure is about 155 over. I don't know what it is today. I've actually just ordered a blood pressure monitor because the woman said to me, order one when you get home. Because I've been taking my blood pressure at my local surgery. But get one, you know what I mean? Get a, you really need to look at your lifestyle, you know what I mean? And again, I don't want to frighten you, but if you're a smoker, what I've been looking into, if you're kind of high risk anyway, stroke, like your weight, you put that on top, you're a massive risk. So yeah, like I say, I hope this is giving you something to say not worry about, but hopefully it's going to make you think. What are you eating? What are you drinking? What is your water intake? What are you doing to remain healthy? Because if you're like me, if you're the main person in your house that earns the money, if you are the main breadwinner, what would happen to you if all of a sudden you wasn't around or you couldn't work? Because it's something to think about. It's definitely to say. It's absolutely frightened the life out of me the other day. I think it happened about 3 days ago. It frightened the life out of me. Everything goes before you. Everything goes before your eyes. You know what I mean? Anyway, I'm going to end it there. Hopefully, my next video will be a brighter note. I do other videos on different things, my OCD and different ways of earning money, and some work, some don't work. You know what I mean? But anyway, good luck, and like I say, don't after watching this video start worrying about it. Just start thinking about your health a bit more, perhaps, and start thinking about what you can do to make yourself feel better. I've already started doing it with my daughter. My daughter lost weight, then she's put on a lot of weight again, and I've literally, my son I go to the gym with, he's as fit as a flea. But I said to my daughter, I said, you need to start thinking. You've got a little girl now, you've got your daughter. You know what I mean? You've got responsibility. Do you know what I mean? You've got to take care of you. Yeah. When an aeroplane is in a, when they say when an aeroplane, obviously they think something might happen and all the oxygen masks come out. You put your mask on you first because you need to be there for the rest of your family. And it's the same with your health. If your health ain't put your health first. Nothing else matters. I go to work, I do marketing, I do online business with my son, I do network marketing, and at the end of the day, none of it matters if you ain't well. Do you know what I mean? It fucking don't matter what you earn, don't matter what you got, it don't matter, and don't mean nothing. If you ain't got your health, you have not got nothing. So take care of it, yeah? I hope this video is of benefit, I hope you get something from it. And I look forward to seeing you on another video. Thank you.